Yeah, I miss it. I miss it a lot. But
You guys think you'll
Gotta
go
be
back
here.
eventually, or you think you stick around here?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
I'd love to think eventually.
Yeah, I'd love to when this works out.
Right.
If we don't end up homeless, getting
Right.
just like a tiny place out in like Nolensville, just somewhere surrounded by woods.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the area so much.
Yeah.
And like, we were thinking about moving to Austin, or people talk about moving to Austin, but I've said this before, like, Austin's just like another Nashville.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't hit mics. I feel like I'd go to the lake and I'd go fishing and I'd go.
Isn't it so weird with comedy? You're like, oh no, I can't because I'd be too happy. Like
Yeah.
I'd be too like, content, like
Yeah, exactly.
I have to make myself more miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But then the high you get from comedy is higher than any of it. You
Yeah.
feel kind of aimless if you weren't doing it. So
Yeah.
like, well,
There is some truth to that, because it's like here I really can't do the shit I like to do, like
yeah.
fishing, riding dirt bikes, mudding, fucking going to the lake, cliff jumping, skydiving. I can't do any of the shit.
Right.
So it's just like, and leaving the apartment is horrible. We've got this rule.
You guys live in the belly of the beast, dude. I got.
Yeah, we do. We've got this rule. I only leave the apartment twice a day.
Yeah, 2 times max.
So that's like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll leave and I'll go to work. I'll come back. And then I'll go hit a couple mics and I'll come back. After 2 times, I'm like,
You're spent.
I'm beat.
Yeah, you're spent.
And you grew up here. I don't even know. That's
Yeah, not too far from here,
Crazy.
actually. In Silver Lake, which is people are from there. They just, you know what I mean? It's
never would've
30,000
thought.
coffee shops didn't just fall from the sky one day. You know?
You've been out here your whole life.
Yeah, I went to college and whatever else, but yeah, I've been my parents' same house that I grew up in, same house. And don't get me wrong, LA used to be so fucking great. When I was a kid, it was
Yeah.
the coolest place. Yeah, because like the homeless guys were like whimsical. You'd be like, "Oh, it's him!" Oh, like he'd give you like a high five. Now they're
Yeah, they haven't turned insane
They're
yet.
fighting each other.
Yeah.
And it's just it's gotten, these rich people who don't actually have to deal with it. Like, I don't understand what people are hating on LA. It's like, well, I'm from here and I've seen it like deteriorate, and you're not making it like your guys' experience when you leave your apartment. You're not making it up. You're like, no, I saw a guy eat another guy's face.
It's
like,
terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
terrible.
They walk around with hammers.
no, and
It's
it's like,
crazy.
they make you feel bad for like, oh, you're gonna leave. It's like, well, yeah, because I want to like own a house one day and have a family and like not worry that my kid's gonna get eaten.
Yeah. No, I would never raise a family here. That's insane.
No, and that's the thing. It's like I grew up here, so it's like I'm kind of used to whatever. But if I wasn't from here and you came, when you guys landed, you were probably like, "What the fuck did we get into?"
Yeah.
That's why none of that like LA sucks now like lands with me, because like we moved here in the middle of 2020, so like LA's always been awful.
It's always been.
I have no like
It's
metric
better than when you started.
I have no metric to judge it against. It's just been shit my entire 4 years here.
When we got here, it was the worst. August of 2020. And so if anything, it's just gone up. So it's like, well, it's
Yeah.
better than when we got here.
Yeah, from our perspective, it's great now.
Yeah.
right. But here's what I'll tell you guys, because you were just telling me about like your interest, like the lake or dirt biking or whatever. Like my uncle, not anymore, but he lived in like Temecula. I don't know if you guys know. It's south of here. It's
Orange County?
It's San Diego County.
Okay.
So it's even further than that. You can do all the dirt biking stuff. Like California is enormous, and most of it, they're not Southerners, but like they're not LA folk.
Yeah.
Like you just got to get out of LA.
Yeah, outside of LA,
know?
that it's like they're pretty hillbilly, pretty.
No, and you don't even have to really go that far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Orange County's not hillbilly, but it's like
Yeah, trucks and guns and
Right.
fucking dirt bikes.
they've got their own problems too. Don't get me wrong.
We went up to the Reagan Museum in Simi Valley, and it's crazy. As soon as you go over that hill and like out of LA, it's
Dude.
like Trump flags and like lifted
no
pickup
Simi's,
trucks.
Simi's wild. Yeah. How cool is that museum though?
Oh, so
I
tight.
love it.
When I was a kid,
We've been twice.
in middle school, we went on a field trip there, and they did the coolest thing. I'll never forget it, where they like split us up into 2 groups, and they have like these mock like situation rooms, the White House room. I'm sure they probably took you through this. And they had us on like a field trip kind of thing where you're making decisions that are affecting things. It's like on a video, you're sitting there with a cabinet. Everyone's
Oh,
assigned a position.
that's so cool.
Like I was Reagan, like somebody else was a cabinet member. And they're like, do we bomb Palestine? I'm like, yeah, do it. They're like, no. They're like, no, he didn't do that. I go, no, do it. Yeah, I like that. They're like, Jesus Christ, you're going to blow the world up, you know? But it was like feeling that power. This is honestly getting off the rails here a little. Just getting a little fascist. But no, but obviously I'm kidding. But like, it was so fucking cool. And then you go on Air Force One.
Yeah.
See the
old
jelly
one.
beans.
Beautiful.
It was the cool. I would go back. I'd work there.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
You got the Ronnie's favorite pub. Was that there then?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Marine One, and yeah, it's just so sick.
How
I love
stoked
it.
were you to be picked for Reagan? Where you're like, yes.
Yeah, I'm
You're
like,
not some
I looked
bullshit
up at-
secretary
No,
defense.
I looked up. I'm like, you knew it was me. Like, God, you knew I was supposed to be.
Of course, I'm clearly
Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, I'm Reagan.
Like, you're the one Republican in the class. Like, you're the only one who knows who he is. So, no, I'm, whatever.
No, that place rules.
Any opportunity you got in school to leave, the greatest time I've ever had in my
Yeah.
life.
No, seriously. Yeah.
You
Even
take a trip
bus
to the
rides are fun.
aquarium.
Did you guys go to an aquarium?
I think we went to an aquarium once.
Yeah, we had yeah.
What do you learn in an aquarium? Just about fish?
Fish like love water, dude. It's their favorite thing.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
I remember
Yeah.
learning that.
Yeah.
You take a field trip to some garden somewhere. You learn about the sun and leaves.
But that's the other thing I was thinking about too is people, we were talking about staying or leaving LA or whatever. They're like, I got to be by the beach. I got to be by the water. And it's like, if you think about it, people like you guys spent way more time in and around water
Oh, yeah.
than I ever did because
Yeah.
you guys do water sports, you fish, you go in the boat, you hang out, you drink beers by the way. We go to the beach out here twice a year if you're like inland.
I learned that
no
really
one
quickly.
No
yeah.
one goes to the fucking beach. You
Yeah.
just like know it exists, and you're like,
Yeah. Dude,
And
I
when
had
you
it in
do
my
go,
head.
when you do go to the beach, you have like an okay time. It's not like it's
you
not
don't
like
do anything.
yes.
And you don't realize that on the way. You're like, beach sounds fun, and you get there, you're like, I'm just sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just in the sun, kind of bored, not really like.
I paid
don't get in the
$40
wa-
for parking.
You got that buddy who's way too old, and he's a guy, and he gets in the water. It's like, come on, dude, you're too.
You're in the water for
I don't
8
think I've
minutes.
ever seen my father in water above belly button ever in my life. I don't think. Like I'm a firm believer in that.
Oh my god. You know, beaches stink.
They're like, it's so cold. You're like, no shit.
Yeah, it's gross.
I found that out so quick. Like when we finally got this apartment here, we were like a month out from moving. I was like, dude, we're gonna be at the beach fucking every weekend. Cause like growing up in Tennessee, to go to the beach, you had to gather like 12 of your closest friends and all pool on a shitty motel in like Destin, Florida, once a year on spring break. That's all the beach you got.
Right.
And then as soon as I moved out here, I was like, oh, I'm never coming here again.
See, I gotta go. That sounds fun. Like, what is it, Gulf Shores or
Yeah,
like,
Destin, Santa Rosa.
Right. Because like in Texas, they'd go to South Padre, and everyone's like, it's so gross. But like the grossness of it probably makes it.
It was
fun
great.
in a weird way.
It was so gross, but amazing.
Yeah.
And you were too young to like have like accountability for your stupid decisions, and you just fucking fucked off.
Did you guys grow up in a way where you could ride your bike to your friend's house and just be home by dinner?
Yeah.
Or was that not a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
within the neighborhood, Nashville's it's pretty spread out, but within like if you had a buddy who lived kind of close, you could do that. But then once you got a car, it was like that, but with cars. You just always go to someone's house.
You could just, yeah.
Yeah, like I was super into skateboarding until I turned 16 and got a car, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck this. I'm not doing this
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's something I could never. There was no like walking around the neighborhood as a kid out here. No way.
Damn.
No way.
So what'd y'all do for fun?
Dude, everything for the most part. Now there's some people. If you grew up in the valley, you can kind of, mess around your block or whatever if you have a buddy who lives. But like, I lived in Silver Lake, like on a hill. It wasn't. It's not like kids. I didn't have kids in my neighborhood.
Damn.
So everything was facilitated primarily through parents, or it was like sports. Like I'd go and hang out with my friends at football practice, or like they'd drop me off at their house for like a play date or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was no like true American like, yeah, we go out with our bikes and like Stand By Me type stuff. That
Yeah.
was not a thing. And I always, even as a young kid, I knew it existed because my parents grew up that way. My dad's from just outside of Philly, and my mom's from, here, but years and years ago. I was like, man, there's kids just like with other kids in the neighborhood, and
Yeah.
they're like riding bikes and like playing in the forest and shit.
Having a
know what I mean?
bonfire. an illegal bonfire that gets out of control.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, and that kind of just like being a kid, raw fun. I didn't really have that. I didn't really, you play sports and you do all that stuff, but not like just roaming.
Yeah.
There's no roaming.
It's something you should experience for sure. You think that you would ever, if you were to have children, give them that?
I'd want to. Dude.
Yeah.
I really want to. I don't know if it's. You think it's still possible? I'm sure in places in the country.
Yeah, not here.
Yeah,
but-
not here, but yeah,
Yeah,
you could
you look the
move
fuck
out.
outside. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah,
There's no doing that here. But
No,
yeah, you go to
yeah.
a place like Tennessee or fucking Austin.
yeah, you'd have to move out. Well, I just remember this. We had this awesome little like drainage culvert. It was this really long, kind of like U-shaped concrete thing that ran down like the backside of the hill in our neighborhood. And every summer we'd clear it out with like weed whackers and stuff, and then just skateboard down it the whole time.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that
It's
here.
so much fun. And dude, this may sound like sad, but it's really not. Now, and when people talk about like, oh, my childhood was so fun, you know what I mean? And like, there were things I certainly loved about it. I look very fondly back. But like, this right now, way more fun than childhood to me. Way more. Like running around, slinging jokes, doing stuff like this, like
Yeah.
having control. Because that's like I said, I couldn't just walk around. You kind of needed to be facilitated or chaperoned in some capacity. So like, you're like, oh, I'm an adult. I get to make my own decision. I get to like
Yeah.
say whatever the fuck I want. I get to do,
Yeah,
You
for
have
all
to
the
make
shit,
stuff.
I talk about LA, this has been the 4 most fun years of my entire life.
Yeah, because there's so many people like-minded people who are slightly crazy who are doing what you're doing.
And but you feel like you're doing something. You're not just like, I'm going to work,
Right. No, I
Maybe-
do, and that's the thing. I do love. It is my favorite city. It is. It's just that's why it makes me sad that it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
But what is? But it is my favorite. I love it. Everybody's like, even when I go down to San Diego, I'm like, it's kind of slow down here. It's not. There's not that edge or like that creativity or that moving and shaking. What are you doing? Oh, let's make something. Let's do this. Let's film a podcast in your diner. You guys slip in.
That's what is great though about growing up in like a smaller town, though. Like you talk about like because we would just like leave, and you'd meet up with friends, and you'd go walking through the woods, and you'd climb a tree, and then
Yeah,
as you
that's
get
sick.
as you get older, like you're hanging out, and then like you buy a dirt bike off Craigslist for $400 and like fix it in your buddy's garage, and then make a jump and jump it and break it, and then we'd go to the lake with tents and fucking sleep at the lake. And then, like, you tell your parents, like, hey, we're sleeping at the lake tonight. And it's like, they're like, okay, fine, just don't die.
Right.
And, but then, yeah, and then you just come back. So, like, as a kid, I felt like I had a lot of responsibility as far as, like, what I got to do.
That's
And
so
a lot of
much fun,
freedom.
though. Yeah, that's fun. Like parents could, yeah, he's just in the woods
Yeah,
with friends. He'll be fine. He'll be,
it was very much like that. Don't die and, don't get arrested.